capabilities of your phone, the things that you don't know what's actually going on, what you've signed up for. All right.
You know that game, Would You Rather? Would you rather have 2 foam arms or be constantly followed everywhere by 10 ducklings? My feelings about privacy and personal data on my smartphone kind of remind me of this game. Would I rather give up my smartphone or agree to carry around a bunch of little spies in my pocket? This is my Android. I've downloaded 57 apps. Facebook, WhatsApp, The Guardian, Fitbit, Twitter, Spotify. When I download an app, I have to accept the terms of service, but I rarely read them. To find out which apps are tracking me, I installed another app. It warns me if data is shared without my knowledge. According to that app, 30 of the 57 applications I've downloaded access data that concerns my private life. For example, social networks access my contacts to suggest new friends. Without this data, the application wouldn't really work. Sometimes it's really surprising. As far as I know, my flashlight doesn't need my personal data to function, but it does access my UDID. That stands for Unique Device Identifier, which every phone is given when it's manufactured. This UDID, like you, is unique in the world. My flashlight transmits it to advertisers, and they use it like a browser cookie. Tracking my UDID lets them learn my mobile habits and send me targeted advertisements. Right now, I'm at a cafe where I live. That fact is shared with huge advertising companies that collect millions of smartphone user profiles. We asked Harlow Holmes to explain how the apps go about collecting our data.
The way that apps work and of course Android and iOS and Windows phones and Blackberries, they all have slightly different ways of doing it, but ultimately they're what are called permissions. And these permissions, if you grant them, allow a specific app access to what's called an API. It's kind of like a door. You want to open the door to the contacts, you ask the API and it gives you what you need. Angry Birds was one such app that, in addition to asking for access to the stuff that we'd expect, such as the gyroscope, in order for you to play the game, they also asked for access to your contacts. And by giving them that, you're allowing them to go into your phone and to make use in whatever way that they deem fit of the people that you know and how they can be contacted. That same thing that we're afraid of
how many people was downloading that Angry Birds when it first came out?
Oh, they was all over that joint.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that's what keep me from downloading certain apps. I'll be like, if I don't really need it, because I always peep that. They want to get all your content. Like, why you gotta be all in my email, my phone numbers, like...
Exactly.
Political actors making use of our contacts just to understand exactly who's connected to whom and how and when and possibly why is also used by advertisers in order to sell us more products, in order to determine who among your friends has the most influence, that kind of a thing. It's a matter of who's asking the question and why are they asking this question.
And then there's the data, which is collected based on my whereabouts. In the next video, we'll learn why my geolocation is a goldmine of data. This is me, at work, at home, at the dentist, on vacation, at the park. In my history, I can find all of the places I've been in the last few days.
So people are paying all of this money to be surveilled.
Yeah.
Okay? That's why it's so important to read the agreements, so you can see exactly what you're getting yourself into. But they put them in real small print, and it's real long.
Yeah, nobody reads it.
Right, to discourage you from. All right, but check this out.
This is me, at work, at home, at the dentist, on vacation, at the park. In my history, I can find all of the places I've been in the last few days, the last few weeks, even the last few months. Nothing is missing. I wondered how Google could follow me so precisely, so I asked them. Google replied,
"We use various technologies to locate you, including IP address, GPS signals, and other sensors that allow us to identify particular devices, Wi-Fi access points, and cell towers in the vicinity."
I can disable this history. But Google tells me,
this does not delete the data it contains. Neither does it disable the updating of the position, GPS, or Wi-Fi location services of your device.
it isn't just Google tracking my location. Of my 57 apps, 31 have continuous access to my location. This is useful for getting the bus schedule or to count how many steps I've taken today. But when my flashlight app, my games, or my newspaper tracks where I'm drinking my morning coffee, that's not something that's very useful to me, but it certainly is to advertisers. Members of the Guardian Project, who help citizens and activists protect data that's on their phones, explain to me how it works.
The most fundamental information that someone can find out about you from your phone comes from the phone part of the smartphone. As you move through a city, it's constantly pinging to find the best tower, or being told, hey, connect to this tower, or negotiating a triangulation, constantly broadcasting a beacon of you, of your phone's unique identifier. It's unique on the planet. Once you connect, the identifier of your phone and the SIM card, which is your subscriber identifier, the way you pay for things, those numbers are combined and sent to the phone company, and then that's logged as a way to charge you, right, for payment. And then once you get into the smartphone layer, just think of all the sensors that we use to make sure we stay fit and track our lives. Now, all of that data is stored on your phone, logged in your photos or in unencrypted databases, which paints a picture of you, your day, what you're interested in, where you've been, who you've talked to. This is a gold mine of information for people that want to sell you things, obviously. For people that want to monitor the state of their nation or their company or whatever body they manage, this is also very useful information. And then for someone who's trying to do targeted surveillance of you, if you are under investigation, essentially you're pre-bugged, you're pre-tapped. If the police came and said, we're going to put a camera in your living room, in your bathroom, and your bedroom, and on your backpack and in your hat, but we're not going to turn them on unless you commit a crime. I don't think people would let that happen, but we have. That's what the phones essentially are.
When you use your phone's Wi-Fi in a public place, you're sending out a lot of information about yourself. You'll see how it works in our next video.
So what do you think they're doing this for? What's the purpose of all this surveillance?
To track individuals.
Track what else?
And control, and gain information and had an upper hand. If they want to decide to do something.
Exactly. So if they need to blackmail somebody.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
If they want black boy or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. So if somebody speaks out.
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta get rid of your phone and everything. You better not have no cell phone.
Well, you still got the information from
when you had
your phone.
So you had to go somewhere totally that you never been before.
Exactly. All right, but it's their attempt to be God through the use of technology. They're trying to be all-seeing and all-knowing. Okay, but check out this is the last one in this series. All right.
Every morning, I go to a cafe and order a coffee and croissant. I connect to the Wi-Fi before I even open the newspaper. Usually it's free. Every morning, I go to a cafe and order a coffee and croissant. I connect to the Wi-Fi before I even open the newspaper. Usually it's free. The list of networks I connect to tells the story of my life. The network at my gym, the one where I work, and the one at my cafe. I wanted to know more about these wireless networks. I looked through the documents given to cafes and other places where they want to install hotspots. I read, your clients are likely to leave their Wi-Fi enabled. This is a valuable opportunity for understanding who they are, how they move around, and what for. In the long run, this technique will improve the profitability of your business. Facebook will soon offer us free Wi-Fi in certain hotels, but only if we log in with our Facebook accounts. That will allow access to all of the data about our stay. And of course, Google already supplies Starbucks. While doing my research, I came across a little story. To access the free Wi-Fi in a London cafe, customers had to accept terms of service that included a clause called Herod. This clause stated that the connection would be made only if the recipient agreed to give up their oldest child for eternity. What did the parents do? They connected to the internet. Of course, the IT security company that conducted this study admitted it was an experiment, and the children were allowed to remain with their families. The purpose of the stunt was not to abduct children, but to encourage us to read the provider's terms before connecting to free Wi-Fi.
So they did that to show you how important it is to read what you're signing up for. These people just signed up their child.
That's deep. That's crazy.
All right.
I know I missed something.
It is actually a computer, but it's a computer you have no control over, right? So it actually is communicating with cell towers, Wi-Fi networks, Bluetooth, way more data than you think is being taken by everybody on your phone, whether it's the Apple operating system or the apps, or whether it's the cell phone carrier or Wi-Fi networks that you walk by that are collecting your information. And so it's really truly a device that is like uncontrollable. It's transmitting in all different ways, and you can't really see what it's sending out about you.
My smartphone is one of my most personal possessions. Until now, I thought my secret code was enough to protect it. I don't want to see it fall into the hands of a stranger, or frankly, even the people I'm close to. My smartphone is one of my most personal possessions. Until now, I thought my secret code was enough to protect it. I don't want to see it fall into the hands of a stranger, or frankly, even the people I'm close to. It has my photos, my emails, my texts, my appointments, my contacts, even the secret recipe for my favorite soup.
If somebody collects 4 unique location data points from you, they can 98% of the time actually identify you personally.
My phone and your phone is going to be different because our patterns of usage are totally different.
Only I go to my home, my office, and like the same coffee shop every day. And so even though those data points on their own can be described as anonymous, in fact the totality of the data is not anonymous.
We both have apps that know when we're active and for how long, how we engage with those things. That leaves a trace. The number of apps that I have on my phone versus the number of apps that you have on your phone, that also leaves a trace.
If your city is constantly being filmed and sensors are tracking you as you walk around with your mobile phone, are you more or less likely to attend a protest? Are you more or less likely to go into the street and have your voice heard about something that might be oppositional to your government? And one of the things that happened in the Ukraine earlier this year during a peaceful protest is that thousands of people walking in the street in a peaceful protest get the same text message that said you have been registered as an illegal participant in a street protest. Now, that's a pretty terrifying thing to get, because what it means is that, first of all, you are being tracked, you are being observed, and that your participation has been recorded. How does that change the way you might want to engage in protest in the future? That has a serious, or has at least the risk of being a serious chilling effect. What are the things where having some kind of anonymity, or at least some kind of ability to not permanently be recorded, what do we lose if we give that up?
The more my applications know me, the better they work. This is exactly what Rand Hindi says, France's leading thinker on data collection.
Pour anticiper ce genre de besoin, ce qu'on va faire, c'est qu'on va prendre par exemple la donnée géolocalisation, à partir de laquelle on va arriver à déterminer les habitudes de vie des gens, ainsi que les endroits où ils sont en ce moment. On va croiser ça avec des données par exemple d'accéléromètre, pour comprendre que d'habitude quand quelqu'un va à un rendez-vous, il y va en taxi, et donc c'est plus important de lui proposer un taxi qu'autre chose. En fait, l'accéléromètre permet de prédire le mode de transport. Mais on va aussi prendre des informations du calendrier, donc on va commencer à faire l'analyse de langage naturel sur le calendrier pour comprendre que quand on dit rendez-vous avec Olivier, qu'il s'agit du Olivier de telle entreprise, et donc que du coup l'adresse qu'on n'aura pas mis dans son événement sera à tel endroit. Et par-dessus ça, on va aussi regarder par exemple les emails et pourquoi pas les réseaux sociaux. Et c'est en croisant toutes ces données-là, avec des données environnementales comme la météo, les informations de transport, qu'on va permettre en fait de recréer le contexte dans lequel se trouve l'individu. Et à partir de ce contexte, on peut prédire ses intentions.
Can you imagine if we let the police spy on us the way our phones do?
I tried almost every possible way to get out of mobile phone tracking. I set up a fake name, I got a fake a phone under that fake name so that I could carry a phone that wasn't attached to my identity. But I found that basically I go to the same places and I make all the same calls, so ultimately the fake identity wasn't masking that much, because in fact what's being tracked is my behavior more than my identity, right? The behavior is my tell. And so therefore that was impossible to conceal if I wanted to use a phone, because the phone is constantly transmitting to all sorts of people, and I don't have an ability to sort of say, oh yes to this connection and no to that one. It's sort of a binary on-off.
Right.
The phone is either on and is transmitting to all these people who I can't control, or it's off and I can't get any calls. And the problem is I am a mother, I have 2 children, and I kind of need to be reachable. If you want to have a phone in today's world, which is basically not optional.
Now it is optional. But the thing is that we're so programmed that we need to have these things.
Because we grew up fine without being able to buy.
Exactly.
Ain't had no contact.
Exactly.
Exactly. So this is what the whole thing is about: controlled perception.
Yeah.
They control our perception of reality. So we follow right along with everything they tell us. Oh, you need the phone. You need the phone. What happened? What something happened with your job? What happened when we didn't have it?
Exactly.
Oh, your answering machine, you got home.
Yeah, right.
Hey, going something happened, little John.
You have to be tracked, and you don't have a lot of opportunities to turn it off. And so that's why it's not about personal choice. It's not that I made the choice to give up my privacy. It's that we as a society have not set any limits on the type of tracking that can happen. And so what we see is this battle between the industries over who can track us. And the sad thing is that we as citizens, there doesn't seem to be a proposal like, hey, how about nobody?
With everything our phones know about us, it seems like the future belongs to big data, which is exactly what we'll explore in the next episode of Do Not Track. See you later. You know that game, Would You Rather? Would you rather have 2 foam arms or be constantly followed everywhere by 10 ducklings?
So now, the thing is that I want to switch moves right here for a second. Because I want you to think about this. www stands for what?
World Wide Web.
The World Wide Web. All right. What's a web?
Tangle people.
Spider web. It's
Tangle, catch stuff.
Bringing everything right.
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 So now,
trying to catch.
Let's look at it. Definition from dictionary.com says something that snares or entangles, a trap. That's the noun for it. The verb to ensnare, capture, or entrap. So when you think about it, these things are hidden right in plain sight. We're not looking at this thing as a web, and they've trapped us. They've got all information, everything. Okay. So it's like they're like the spider. You know, they're like the predator coming at it. After they trap you in this web, they can get you whenever they want you. Mm-hmm. Right? So we got to really think about language and what is being said to us. All right? A web.
That's like that movie, Minority Report. You remember that? You ever see that movie where they would try to predict a crime?
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah,
before it happened.
Yeah. But it's actually moving towards that.
Yes.
It's actually moving towards that.
That's what they do.
They're going to try to do that. That's all they can. Yeah, right. They're going to actually try to do that.
That's the plan.
Right. Now, quick question. What was the price of the first Apple computer?
$100.
$100.
$666.
See, he's been in these presentations before. $666.66 was the price of the first Apple computer. All right. Now, here's another question for you. Oh, well, this is I pulled this picture to show you.
That's an old. That's the
right.
first Apple.
That's the first Apple.
That's
right.
wooden joint.
Look like a typewriter.
Right. But see, the thing is that, you know, I always like to bring my evidence. Or do your homework. Don't listen to what I say. Do your homework. your own homework and do the research. All right, but it shows you right here. The price sold was $666.66. What we don't realize is that these people that run this system are heavily into the occult. Okay? But now watch this. Here's my next question. What is the logo for the Apple computer?
The apple.
It's the apple.
With a bite out of it.
Original
It's the
sin.
apple with a bite
Yeah.
taken out of it, which takes you back to what?
Eating.
Right.
The original
The
sin.
store-
First sin.
Right. All right. So,
You know, I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm from New York City.
mhm,
They call New York the Big Apple, right?
right.
I remember when they took a plug out of it.
Mhm.
It was a round apple, there was no plug out of the apple.
Oh,
New York
yeah.
when it first came up. Because I raised up in New York, so I know.
Right. But see, this
That came later on.
right. But see, this goes to the tree of knowledge,
Yes,
the knowledge of good and evil,
the apple.
right? Because you can use this technology for good or evil. You can research it,
The good and the bad.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Good
Okay.
and bad. That's true.
So these people, like I said, they're very occultic and they do things for a reason, you know. And it's hidden right. It's right in front of your face.
They're always a step ahead.
Always a step ahead.
Always.
Always. All right. But I thought that was, you know, very interesting, you know, that they did that. But right now I want you to check out something.
That's how they program our young people.
Right.
They did a program.
See, our young people are definitely being programmed
Yes.
and indoctrinated into this system. Okay? And the way they do it is through television,
Yeah.
do it through the music, and they do it through the school system.
Yeah.
All right? Because, you know, like I said, the
And-
school isn't there to educate your
the
child.
internet,
It's
too.
there to indoctrinate them.
And that's what they do.
Okay? Now, I want you to hear this. This is guy, Aaron Russo. He's talking about the ultimate goal. What is the ultimate goal?
The ultimate goal that these people have in mind is the goal to create a one world government run by the banking industry, run by the bankers, and then they're doing it in sections. The European currency, the euro, and the European Constitution is one part of it. Now they're trying to do it in America with the North American Union, right? And they want to create a new currency called the Amero, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip. And you have nothing. You can't buy food. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people.
And that chip's connected to a database that has your purchasing records, what you do, what you sell.
Everything is in there, you know? And so they want a one-world government controlled by them, everybody being chipped, all the money in those chips, and they control the chips, and they control people, and you become a slave, you become a serf to these people. That's their goal, that's their intentions.
Eric, can you be specific about when you met Rockefeller, how it happened in these discussions?
I met Rockefeller through a female attorney I knew, who called me up one day and said, one of the Rockefellers would like to meet you. I'd made a video called Mad as Hell, and he'd seen the video and wanted to meet me, and knew I was running for governor of Nevada. So sure, I'd love to meet him. And I met him, and I liked him, and he was a very, very smart man, and we used to talk and share ideas and thoughts, And he's the one who told me 11 months before 9/11 ever happened that there was going to be an event. Never told me what the event was going to be, but there was going to be an event, and out of that event, we were going to invade Afghanistan to run pipelines from the Caspian Sea. We were going to invade Iraq, to take over the oil fields, establish a base in the Middle East, and make it all part of the New World Order. And we go after Chavez in Venezuela. And sure enough, later 9/11 happened, and I remember he was telling me how how you're gonna see soldiers looking in caves for people in Afghanistan and Pakistan and all these places, and there's gonna be this war on terror, of which there's no real enemy, and the whole thing is a giant hoax, but it's a way for the government to take over the American people.
He told you it was going to be a hoax.
Oh yeah. There's no.
So now what do you think happened to this guy?
He ain't here no more.
He's gone, right?
Yeah, he gone. That's where they were.
Right.
Because remember, Rockefeller family, and also don't overlook the Bush family. Old man Bush was the chief of the CIA back in the day, so they all in the same location.
Right.
Same people.
Right.
It's bigger than what you don't see.
She says, there's going to be war on terror, and he's just laughing. There's no, who are we fighting? I mean, why do you think 9/11 happened, and then nothing's happened since then? Do you think that our security is so great here that these people who pulled off 9/11, who were able to, can't knock down another plane? Come on, it's ridiculous.
Now, what he also said, he said, how that the war on terror is fake? He said, because they haven't secured the border with Mexico. So you had these terrorists that wanted to try to get in. All they had to do was come through Mexico.
Simply easy.
Right?
Yeah.
So, he was made aware by having this relationship with this Rockefeller and this guy telling him all of this stuff. Okay? And the war on terror is just so that they can take away our freedoms. See, they couldn't pass the Patriot Act until 9/11 happened. Right?
Everybody was down to go for it then.
Exactly.
You gotta look at the Rockefeller family. They're some wicked people.
Right.
Look at New York City. We're in the Rockefeller Center.
Right.
There's more heavy security than the UN and everything, every place else in New York.
But see, well, there's some things to show you. All right. There's a lot of things to show you.
Everything was done by people in our own government and our own banking system to perpetuate the fear of the American people and to subordinate themselves to anything the government wants them to do.